You may think that you're good at writing because you've gotten an A+ back in high school in your English essays, but let me tell you that writing Facebook ads copy is such a different game. You basically want to tell the truth, but make the truth fascinating. That is the best way to write copy that converts like crazy. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you a few examples of great copy pieces from a few Facebook ads, as well as showcase a bit of a framework on how you can get ideas to write great copy and what overall framework should you follow whenever writing some copy pieces for your Facebook ads. My name is Justin and I'm the founder of Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, as well as turn on post notifications to be one of the first to know about these cutting edge e-commerce marketing tips posted on the channel every week. So the first thing we're gonna do is look at a few winning brands and take a look at their copy, sort of analyze that, and then I'm gonna show you through Google Analytics a few of the ways you can find some data about your audience to make sure that you write copy that will compel to your already existing buyer. First of all, what we can see here with this ad, it's spring, and you know what that means. It's time to get outside and spike the competition. Okay, so I'm already gonna stop right there and just dissect that part of the copy. A lot of the time what I see is essentially brands, and we've also been guilty of that sometimes. You let some copy pieces run for a little too long into a new season, right? It's spring and then essentially it's March right now. You still have maybe some winter copy pieces, you're talking about, the winter, getting cozy or stuff like that. Okay, but we're out of season. Like, people are already out of the winter mindset. They're into the spring mindset. They're into this new and upcoming season. People are excited for spring. It's a nice time of the year. So just using some words that talk about the current landscape of things, right? The seasons, the holidays, the month, the day of the week, right? We've also tested that in the past. Date of the week. Sometimes running ads for certain times of the week, we've noticed that results were better in the weekend for some clients, so we put more spend there. But also maybe having ads or campaigns that only run, that's in the weekends, and that tell you, hey, let's get ready for the weekend, or let's get ready for the new week ahead. Stuff like that works very well when it comes to copywriting. Then build authority. So that will depend on your brand size, but you will always be able to build authority no matter what is the size of your brand. If you're a bit of a bigger brand and already have some PR features, then that's totally cool. You can use that. Like this one right here, they've been featured in People's Magazine. Okay, that's awesome. They have 5,000 5-star reviews. Cool. Maybe you just have 2 5-star reviews, right? Or maybe you've asked friends to test your product and they've given great reviews because they did enjoy the products. So if that is the case, cool, use these reviews. Basically quote them in your copy. Quote the great reviews that they've given you. You have 2 5-star reviews, that's totally cool. Listen to what our customers are saying, and then you have basically, or read what our customers are saying, and then you have pieces of reviews about, you mentioned that it's a 5-star review. People don't really know how many you got. And that's, again, you're not bending the truth. All you're doing is showcasing the truth, but making it just a little better. That's it, right? You're just enhancing the truth by, again, just pulling it out of your website and pulling what is interesting to showcase in an ad. Now, the most important thing before you start writing copy is to define who you're writing copy for and what exactly you want them to accomplish, right? Which, if you're watching this video, chances are you want to write copy to sell something. You want to sell a product, you want to sell a course, you want to sell a service, or you potentially want people to come to you so you can help them sell something. Whatever it is, you are selling an idea, a dream, a product, something to them, right? That's mainly what you want to do with an ad. So you start with the idea that you want to sell. Perfect. Now, who you're selling to, that will help you define how you write your copy. As an example, you see the style of copywriting is very different than what I showed you earlier from CrossNet. Looking at these guys right here, they have a ton of emojis, right? It's very different. It's very sort of flashy. It's totally not what we're seeing right here, right? Because audiences are very different. What are we seeing here? First of all, we're seeing men in the picture. We're seeing men in the videos. Okay, sometimes we're gonna see women, but it looks like we're mainly talking to men. Whereas right here, you can already see that in the picture, we see girls. Okay, it's a very different thing. Woman versus men audience. Okay, so we're gonna write differently to both of them. Potentially women may interact better by seeing emojis, whereas men usually don't tend to use emojis as much. So then that brand right here they're using a few, but very subtle emojis, nothing too flashy like what we're seeing here with Cocoa Floss. Now, what I highly recommend you do if you haven't yet is install Google Analytics on your website. Google Analytics is great for so many reasons, but in this video, I'm gonna focus on the copywriting side of things, right? Why would you wanna use Google Analytics for copy? So one of the first things that you can do is use the demographics tab at the left side. So as an example right here, we could go to demographics overview and take a look at what our demographics are. So first of all, we know that we would be writing primarily to an audience that, our main demographics 25 to 34. But if we take a look at, over 50% of that is within 25 to 44. So that is our main demographic. And then looking at things right here, we see that about 60% is female, about 40% is male. So it's a very mixed audience. It's rare that we see that with brands, but with that one, as you can see right here, it's a pretty split. So what you could probably do is have different audiences, different targeting within your ads. You could go very broad and go narrow with your copy. So go with the super broad audience. You're not targeting any types of genders, but you're maybe just go United States as a whole. And then from there in your copy, you're targeting more women with the way you frame the copy and more man with another one. Or again, you could just go narrow with the copy and the targeting. But that just gives you a bit of an example of, okay, who am I writing to, right? Who are my customers? And then the other thing is interests. Same thing in Google Analytics, that's very good. Usually if you haven't activated that yet, it'll ask you to enable this feature and it'll take a couple of days for it to start compiling data. Usually you want that to have been running for quite a bit of a while before you make any decisions. I recommend you run that for, depending on the store traffic you have, right? If you're a pretty big brand, I would say a week is enough. But if you're a small brand, meaning that you're making about $10,000 to $15,000 a month with your e-commerce store, I would invite you to run that for about a month before you have any sort of data shown on here, or before you make any decisions at least. So what Google is going to pull up is affinity categories, in-market segments, and other categories, right? They're all interesting to look at. So when you look at affinity category, this is usually very nice because you will see stuff that is very different than what you're selling. This is a pet brand, by the way. This is a brand selling pet accessories. So essentially, if we're looking at what they have right here, the category with the most affinity right here is 30-minute chefs, food and dining, cooking. So it's like, okay, probably people that like our products, they enjoy cooking as a whole. They enjoy meals, cooking. Okay, value shoppers, all right? That doesn't tell us as much, but it tells us that they like, they like a good deal. Movie lovers, TV lovers, that's great, right? That's also very good. We could probably use that angle within the ads. So we know that they like cooking. We know that they like, again, movies and entertainment. And let's probably end it right there. We already have two angles right here that we could use with our ads. And how can we actually use that with ads? Well, again, those are angles. The first thing you want to note down whenever you start writing copy is, where am I going with this? What's the angle here? So what take am I essentially writing on? So in this case, we could have cooking and we could have movie. So you can use that for both the creative part of things and the copy. As an example, pet accessories. Let's say you have, blankets for pets, right? Well, you could have a whole angle on, having a cozy movie night at home and getting your pet to also be cozy with you, right? And then you sell a blanket to pet owners. And same item, right? You're cooking right here. So what you could have is basically, the same blanket. You want them to keep you company while you cook, and you want them to be cool, calm, and collected, right? So they don't make a mess in the kitchen. So with this cozy blanket, they're gonna be able to leave you alone while you cook and make sure that they're staying cozy while all of this is happening, right? So I'm just throwing ideas out here for how you could frame these type of products. But to give you an example, same product, a pet blanket, two different angles. And how did I get these angles? I didn't pull them out of anywhere. I've pulled them out of what Google Analytics told me in the already existing website visitors that we have. So basically, I already know who's buying from us and what these guys like. So how can I get more of these people to purchase? Now, looking back at Cocoa Floss, a lot of the time what you're using is reviews, which I highly recommend you use for middle of funnel or bottom of funnel. So when doing copywriting, I think a simple review just like that is that basically there's no copywriting work involved, right? You just take a review. It's mainly going to be editing work, right? Maybe removing parts of the review or placing them differently, or maybe changing the words slightly of that review. So it all says the same thing, but it just maybe fits with your brand's tone a little better, right, when advertising. So that is a good way. And as you can see right here, what they're doing is they're using benefits over features, right? It removes more plaque between teeth than standard oral care products. Okay, that's a benefit, right? It removes plaque. Gentle on your gums. Gentle is the word. Okay, it's not gonna hurt me, right? It's gonna be gentle. And then here you have, those are more features, right? Eco-friendly, vegan, and toxin-free. So they have a bit of mix of both. And right here, fresh fragrances and cute colors for ultimate smile bliss. Again, you want to have a great smile. They're not selling you the, that it's gonna, it has this ingredient that is gonna enhance, X, Y, and Z protein within your teeth. No, you're just gonna get a great smile. That's all customers care about. Have a stronger focus on the benefit rather than the feature when doing copywriting work. And then what I'm gonna recommend that you actually start doing is, as you would be testing many ad creatives, right? I always recommend people to have a testing campaign, or at least have within their main cold campaign to be testing, 4 or 5 creatives at any given point. So that way they can have a bit of a rolling rates of creatives to publish to their main campaigns, and make sure that you're not always trying to scramble around and find winners. So where I'm going with this is have the same thing for copy, right? Always have a few different copywriting pieces ready for you to test. I recommend to have, use the dynamic copywriting feature from Facebook, where you can have more than one primary text within your ads. I recommend to have 2 or 3 at any given point, so that way you can sort of split test them and see which one performed the best. And all in all, what I'm gonna say is don't focus too much on copywriting. I would say copywriting is half of the job, the other half is creatives. If you can do a good job with both, then you're gonna have a great ad. But again, it's not all copywriting. You can spend as much time as you want on the copywriting side of things. If you don't have a great ad, your copywriting won't matter, because the visual is just not there to support this great piece of copy. So make sure that you're spending a lot of good time also on the creative side of things. But if you already have good creatives, then copywriting is going to help you take your ad performances to the next level. Now, if you're an e-commerce brand or store owner making at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month with your brand, I invite you to click on the first link in the description down below to book in a very short 15-minute demo call with our team. On that call, we'll take a look at your business and see if we're a good fit to help you scale up with our marketing growth program. If that's the case, then we'll end up partnering up with you and helping you scale throughout the next couple of months. On that note, make sure you check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.